Well, 2 years ago this November, Florida voters decided felons who completed their sentence should get the right to vote. But ahead of another election, those returning citizens are facing more roadblocks than ever as Governor DeSantis and lawmakers say that debt to society includes fines and fees. On Your Side's David Jones has a closer look at the ongoing legal battle with just weeks before the election.
We would love to get a decision in time for the November election.
Nancy Abudu is Deputy Legal Director at the Southern Poverty Law Center. Her group joined with the ACLU to sue the state over its efforts to keep a large group of felons from voting. Out of 1.4 million felons who got their voting rights back through Amendment 4, it's estimated around 750,000 still have legal financial obligations, or LFOs. Those can run in the thousands.
They are monies generated to finance the government's criminal justice system, and they operate in the same way as taxes.
So Abudu and other voting rights advocates are calling the governor's efforts to make felons pay off all their LFOs before being able to vote a poll tax, a term harkening back to laws from the Jim Crow era and later, meant to disenfranchise Black and other minority voters.
The government structure that we have is not being responsive to where Floridians are on this issue. The state is intent on undermining the real spirit and importance of Amendment 4.
In May, a Tallahassee federal judge ruled in SPLC's favor, reinstating voting rights for all felons, but that order is on hold until the appeals court makes a decision, which could come in days or weeks. The deadline to register to vote for the November election is October 5th. David Jones, First Coast News, on your side.